always follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss, Paulie Howard with you live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. Action-packed 3-hour program coming up today among our guests. Nick Bogdanovich on the program, longtime Las Vegas odds maker in 30 minutes. College basketball, great card tonight. Max Hoffmeyer is going to join the program. Best bets there, Paul Stone. Best bets in college football, Derek Stevens. A contest update here at Circa with his weekly Tuesday spot. We will get into the big news today in the NBA, our best bets as well, Paulie. We have the pizzeria and Do You Concur coming up a little bit later on, so we are loaded. Last night was a mess, man. A messy Monday night game. Both coaching stabs near the end, and I would say one of them threw out. Oh, boy, what were we watching at the end of that contest, specifically at Lambeau Field? But Philadelphia now getting right with this defense. Jalen Phillips comes over at the trade deadline from Miami, makes an immediate impact on that game last night. They're cooking now on that side of the ball. Still have many questions, obviously, with the offense. But the fraudulent Green Bay Packers go down last night.
You know, I thought Love nailed it, too, after the game, how they've let the defense down time and time again. You lose 10-7, 16-13, and 13-10. It's unacceptable. And so with the weapons that they have and the defense balls out and plays like that, and you can't cash in, and again, they're trotting out an injured kicker.
So explain that one to me, where McManus now, and oh, by the way, the whole end of that game, pure shenanigans, where there's a timeout called, but yet the referees allowed him to go through with a practice kick. And that's why LaFleur said, hold on a second here, made the right move. Let's try to pick up. He can't make it from 64. So let's try to pick up a couple of more yards here by going shotgun, quick pass sidelines. If we pick up a couple more, maybe he can make it. But then again, the question is, why? Where's the school teacher who has made a 61-yarder this year, and you have this guy out there who can't? He's 3 of 9 outside the red zone.
Yeah, right. And he actually got worse, too. The first one was close. The second one wasn't even near the zip code. That was from near Eau Claire, how bad that was. And never should have come down to that as well. I don't know what Sirianni is doing. That's baffling. You just punt, pin them, and then the ball game's over. The clock is your friend. Green Bay's playing you and the clock in that situation.
How do you go for it?
I cannot believe he did that. And that you gave them a chance. And we almost were looking at overtime. But I didn't even look at what no touchdown first half was. A scoreless quarter comes in, no problem. That got as low as 12.5 in play, I saw, with the total. So you mentioned it earlier at the top. You know, they're going to win this division. It's over. Nice win for the Eagles. Now they take on the Lions at home. But Barkley has had 90 yards in a game one time.
Oh, there's one thing potentially holding this team back. And it's been the same story since week 1. It's the offensive coordinator. The changing of the guard here, right?
Yeah, very good.
So that's the one problem and the biggest issue that Philadelphia might have, because they're awesome. Again, they figured this out defensively. And it's going to be difficult to beat this team for the rest of the regular season, and then especially if they get the 1 seed, by the way. But the one thing where you can see it if they don't win the NFC again this year, it's going to be the problem there at OC.
Yeah.
And they just don't get it done on offense.
Yeah. What is your problem with him? Is it creativity? Is it?
It's a total lack of imagination.
Yes.
They can't get the key guys involved for the most part on the entire year. They haven't been able to figure out Saquon Barkley at all. Hurts is playing good football, solid football overall. But, I mean, and Green Bay's defense is really good, obviously. And to your point, they're 5-3-1 on the year. They have allowed 16 or fewer points in all 3 of those losses. They are 1-3 when giving up 16 or fewer points. Most such losses since 1978. So the defense played really well again last night. But again, this is a great tweet from Scott Kashmir. Peyton Manning was 89-0 when his team allowed fewer than 17 points in a game that he finished. That goes back to February of 2016. Jordan Love lost his 3rd game this year when the team did not allow more than 16 points.
Yeah.
So if I think that there are problems with the Philadelphia offense, then what do you think I have to say about Green Bay's team overall? And specifically that, you know what? I don't think this is an overreaction. I want to see a little Malik Willis at quarterback.
What, gadget stuff?
I want to remember last year when Love got hurt right away, LaFleur actually had to go back and figure out a way to win games, and they did. Not that he's going to set the world on fire. They made a colossal mistake giving Jordan Love $55 million a year. And on that 4th and 1 play, again, the coaching, all of that. 90 seconds left. You have 2 timeouts. You're driving. You need a field goal to tie the game. There's still plenty of time to win the game. The entire defense, you can hear it when you go back and listen to the replay. They are screaming inside zone this way. 8 guys on the defense knew where the ball was going.
Yeah.
And they rushed to the line. Yeah. He never took it. You got 2 timeouts. It's the biggest play of the game. Yeah. Get it right. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, they're broken, man.
I didn't even think of this. But this, if you think this happens and it's still 3-1 that they missed the playoffs, wouldn't you think this guy's job's on the line?
Well, he's answering questions today about that.
Because there's so much talent offensively, and for it to look like that is unacceptable. And the scary thing is, you're right, Philly might get the 1 seed, and they're still broken on offense. That they can't get the ball to A.J. Brown, and they can't get Barkley going, who had 2,000 yards. And he said, as I said earlier, 1 game, he went off against the Giants. Other than that, his high game was 88 yards. How can that be?
Right.
So it would be scary, though, if they're able to do this and grab. And the only time they really looked good and looked like the Eagles from last year was the second half against the Rams when they were throwing it all over the place and rallied down 19. But you also are correct that they got bailed out, that it's probably going to be Russell Wilson and not Dart on Sunday. But they got a lot of things to fix and do something with the offense. And I don't know if there's enough time because they are getting worse by the week. And some of these losses. Where's the team that, I know it's a horrible defense, but where's the team that dropped 40 on the Cowboys? Where's the team that was moving the ball against Washington no problem and looked good against Detroit? I mean, again, I'd like to see some rhythm and tempo here and do more. And a lot of it goes on Love, too. But let's take some shots down the field and let's go more up-tempo and stop with this slow offense.
Yeah, I think those games against Detroit and Washington, that's a galaxy far, far away at this point. Again, to reiterate here, 1-3 straight up in ATS in games. When the defense allowed below 17 points, the rest of the NFL is 61-5 straight up, 59-7 ATS. Here's Matt LaFleur today, asked about if he's on the hot seat.
I understand you guys are 5-3-1, still have a playoff spot right now, and you're going to say you're always coaching for your job, but you don't have a long-term extension. With the way things have gone this season, do you think you're coaching for your job?
I'm not. I'll leave that for everybody else to decide. I'll just focus on the day-to-day and trying to do. I feel like you're always coaching for everything in this league. You know, that's just my mindset. It's always been that way. You can't ever exhale. You got to always be pushing, and that's just my mindset. So, and that will be my mindset until they tell me not to coach anymore.
Would it be a mistake if they let him go at the end of the year if they miss the playoffs?
Not if the offense looks like this. No.
Did they make a mistake by giving Jordan Love $55 million? Yes, they did.
Yes, they did.
And we thought that right away.
Yes.
I tell you what, if somehow Dart plays this weekend, I will bomb Packers 3-1 to miss the playoffs. Look at this schedule.
Okay.
Because I think they're losing the game to the Giants if Dart plays.
Okay.
With Russell Wilson, then all bets are off. Then they get the Vikings, losable game. At the Lions, Bears at home, at Broncos, at Bears, Ravens, Vikings. They might lose out. I don't know. That's a very difficult schedule moving forward here. I know losing out, that's a little tongue-in-cheek and being super aggressive, but I know this, again, right now the Niners on the outside of the playoffs, and they're 6-4. Mm-hmm. The Bears are 6-3. I don't know if they can squeeze 10 games out of their schedule because it's actually more difficult than Green Bay's. And
they play one another late in the season, which is wild.
Yeah, and you're calling for a Bears loss this weekend too.
Yeah.
The luck runs out.
But yes, you're wasting a great defense too. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you just can't lose games like this. And you're worried about I hope there isn't bickering or fighting in the locker room too about pointing fingers because it's your whole. You could come back and say what happened in the Dallas game, but you can't lose to Cleveland, Carolina, and the Eagles like this when the defense plays like that. And 2 of the games are at home.
Yep.
It can't happen. What happened? I mean, when Favre was the quarterback and Rodgers was the quarterback, you didn't go there and didn't blow home games. And certainly they could score and do what they want offensively. But the other thing that would come back to haunt him is the issues in the playoffs and some of the bizarre decision-making and what he did against Tampa, how they blew it against the 49ers, how they lost last year against Philadelphia, and you haven't had success in the playoffs.
No, you're spot on. Yep. How about this for an oddity to the week? So Week 10 started with a 10-7 game, Denver over the Raiders. It wrapped up last night with a 10-7 game, Philadelphia over Green Bay. And at the same time, Sunday afternoon, we had 2 games finish 44-22.
Yeah, right. Good call.
How bizarre is that?
That's right. Yeah. That is strange.
Yeah, other news today, Travis Hunter out for the year.
Yep.
The injuries to the rookies, there's no end in sight.
No.
It's one guy after another. The Dart injury now on Sunday. Couple that with Scadaboo. You've had Schlesinger get hurt. He came back for the Browns. Omarion Hampton's been out for a long time for the Chargers. Hunter now is out for the year. I mean, they're dropping like flies, man.
Right. But the other big news, and this also has survivor implications, is Burrow coming back and him targeting this Thanksgiving Day game. Because they have that weird schedule. They play Baltimore 2 times in 3 weeks.
What do you make of that, by the way?
I would just say, come on. I saw him today. He thinks the division's wide open. Okay, yeah. Joe, you can't stop anything.
No, yeah,
it doesn't matter. You have the worst defense imaginable.
He's been hurt 3 times in his career, significantly hurt. If he comes back behind this offensive line.
That too.
Right? And it's not rushed because he said that he's way ahead of schedule and he feels fine, whatever. But if he comes back on time and they're out of the playoffs.
Come on, if they lose to Pittsburgh, that's the decision.
Oh, of course it has to be.
There's no reason to come back.
I would agree with you.
I can't believe they're allowing this.
He wants to come back with that defense and the offensive line the same year.
But I know it affected someone, too, with their equity because they sold a piece of their entry. This Burrow business cost him because he was saving the Ravens for Thanksgiving night.
Yeah.
And now it's suddenly, it's a different ball game if he plays, though.
Yep. Huge news today in the NBA. The Mavericks fired GM Nico Harrison. The whole thing still confuses me, and that's messy, and we'll tell you which players have been red hot with player props in the NBA coming up next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Thanks for checking in today. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. We're live in Vegas, Circa Resort and Casino. Right now we go out to the Progressive Guest Line. Longtime friend of the show, Las Vegas odds maker Nick Bogdanovich, now with Boomer Sportsbook here in Las Vegas and the state of Nevada, joins the program. Hey, Nick, how you been?
I'm doing great, fellas. How about yourself?
Doing really well. Let's begin with this. 2 huge matchups this weekend in the SEC. Both numbers pretty much the same. Alabama laying 6 at home to Oklahoma. Georgia, 6.5 at home to Texas. Which road dog here between these two do you think is most live come Saturday?
You know, really, it's a coin toss. It's really the exact game. The 2 road teams have the better defenses, but can their quarterbacks play a clean game? Can Mateer and Arch play good? I mean, if Mateer and Arch play a halfway decent game, they're super, super live. So, but obviously the 2 best games of the week. I think it really just boils down to quarterback play. If you get a decent effort out of either one of them, I think you're going to cover.
All right. By the way, your numbers overall, I'm sure it's razor thin, but which team is the best in the SEC per your power ratings?
Yeah, that's a good question. I got Alabama and Georgia like dead close. So those 2 are real close.
Do you have Ohio State, then a gap, then Indiana, then another gap, or how does it look at the very top?
I got Ohio State and then a little bit of a gap. I mean, I don't think they're not beatable. I do think on a given day they can be beaten. But I got Indiana in with the Alabamas and the Georgias of the world. So, but I would absolutely love to see Indiana win it all. That would be my dream come true.
Really? Can you expand on that?
Yeah.
How so?
Not because I have a future, just because I have Indiana in the last 20 years is 8-700. I mean, the doormat of all doormats.
Yep.
And you to overcome the structure of college football is impossible. You're talking about decades and decades of 5-star recruit after 5-star recruit, and being able to pay every single assistant coach millions and millions of dollars in the facilities. The head starts that the Ohio States and the Alabama and the Georgias have is enormous. And for a team to Indiana even catch up or get a sniff is almost impossible. So I'd like to see the Herculean task completed.
That's a great answer. And I know there's parity now and the talent spread out because of NIL, but you have to overcome brand name bias too. And I know it helps you're in the Big Ten, but brand name bias is a big thing. I mean, look what's going on with this. And it leads me to the Notre Dame question. I'm going to lose my mind tonight when Notre Dame's probably at number 8 or number 9 in the committee rankings, that they have one good win. But what do you think of the Irish going on the road laying a ton against Pittsburgh?
I like Pittsburgh quite a bit in this game. I love the freshman quarterback. I just like the squad. But I will say this about Notre Dame. The last 3 or 4 weeks, the true professionals have bet Notre Dame really strong. So the professionals got Notre Dame power rated higher than when they come ranked 8th or 9th in that poll. They got them power rated way better than that. That I can tell you.
Mm-hmm. Where's Texas Tech then? Where's Texas Tech in your rankings?
They're right up there, right there underneath Indiana, Georgia, Alabama. They're real close. I mean, Morton's just got to stay healthy and play better. Their defense is out of this world. Their coaching is out of this world. But yeah, Texas Tech has definitely got a puncher's chance.
Good point. If they didn't kick all those field goals, that would have been out of control. That score that was misleading on Saturday.
Yeah, don't worry. There was plenty of money for Texas Tech that day. I mean, that game got bet up from 10 to 13.5. So they were all over it. They were smart and they were right. It was just a tough spot for BYU to come in there. They're very vanilla offense, perfectly made for that suffocating defense at home in a crazy rabid crowd with game day there and Mahomes there. So it was BYU was up against it. BYU's a solid squad, just a notch below the big boys.
Where do you have Miami? Because last week, again, with the committee, they were 18th with that win over Notre Dame. The Irish were 10th. Now, I know the Hurricanes have had a couple of stink bombs here, but there's no way they're the 18th best team in the country. They have to be way higher than that, right?
I think so, but I mean, I thought Cristobal could get this team to play better, and they've only regressed, so that's a concern. Obviously, they still got talent, but if it was based on showing Michael Irvin on the sidelines, they'd be national champions 20 times over. Every time on the game, I got to see this guy shown 23 times on the sideline. But yeah, now Miami's good, but I don't think they can win it.
Okay, all right. Do you think so? Back to Texas Tech for a second here. In my head, I think they can make it as far as a national title game. I don't know if they can beat Ohio State, but I think they can get there and play with them. Do you think that's a fair comment?
I think they definitely can get there for sure. What happens along the way is the playoffs. It becomes a grueling grind. And listen, if teams get nicked up or beat up, things can change real fast. So Texas Tech has the defense to pull this thing off and a quality running game. Those are the two things that always travel. So if they can stay somewhat healthy and maybe Ohio State gets nicked up a little or an Alabama gets nicked up a little or whatever, then sure they can pull it off. But once that treacherous that the playoffs start, you got to stay somewhat healthy.
How bad was the late window in the NFL? Favorite and over for you?
Yeah, I would have liked to have a dime on all 6 sides and a dime 6-teamer. That's for sure. It was the easiest rocking chair situation of all time.
Yes.
They were settled in the second quarter.
They were.
It was over. It was incredible. So hats off to everyone who took advantage of it. But, yeah, that was the easiest 6-teamer in the history of gambling.
It turned out that, and some of those games are like marquee games on paper, but the best teams there in the NFC, obviously Eagles were not in action, but to have all 3 of those, Nick, at the same time really just shine like that was they turned it into a really bad window of games to actually sit there and watch because they were blowouts basically from the beginning.
Yeah, no, that's why you have second half wagering, live wagering, and fantasy. That way you stayed through the whole thing.
Yes.
But 100%. It was a beating. I mean, the 49ers couldn't get a stop. Arizona couldn't stop turning it over. And if Detroit and Washington played that game for real for 60 minutes, Detroit could have scored 80 if they wanted to.
I think you're right. Tell us about your new gig.
Yeah, it's all good. A little startup company here in the state of Nevada. We only have 4 little properties right now. Ellis Island and Valley Verde here in Las Vegas. If you want to sign up and get an app, you can lay $1.05 in all the NFL sides. And we got a really good product. So it's perfectly designed for the smaller players. But, yeah, we're small, but we're going to grow over the next couple years.
Thank you, my friend.
Very good. Thanks,
Talk to you
Nick.
soon.
All right, guys, have a great week.
The all-new Boomer Sportsbook, bringing you the action, football, hockey, basketball, and more. Code VEASAN250 when you sign up for a mobile account, and they'll match your first deposit up to $250 in bonus bets. You heard them, $1.05 on all the NFL games. Download Boomer Sportsbook app today. Learn more. BetWithBoomer.com. Got to be 21. Terms and conditions apply. BetWithBoomer.com. Code VEASAN250.
That is a very big deal, Paulie, to be able to bet and lay $1.05 on these games compared to $1.10 at almost every other book. And also, the menu on the app is very lengthy. So they put together a good product here on the phone. And it's going to look like any of your big boys nationally when you pop up a game and like how many markets can I bet into? They got all of them. So they knew what they were doing when they were putting this thing together, and the technology on the app looks absolutely terrific.
You think Texas is going to move the ball?
Oh, my God.
I mean, they were outplayed by Kentucky. They were down 17 to Miss State. They were solid for 3 quarters against Vandy.
You really have to look at how Georgia has played now for like the last 6 quarters and think this could get out of control, because Georgia now, they have had their A game or close to it, and they're playing in great form as we speak. And Texas, I can't say the same thing about them. Obviously, it looked great early on against Vanderbilt when they were taking them apart in the first half, but they barely covered the game. In fact, it was a push if you laid 3, which was basically impossible.
Right.
The other one, Oklahoma getting that many points against Alabama.
They win, they're in. Got to be.
Oklahoma?
With that resume, right. It's right there for them. It's going to be a tough game.
If this was played a month ago and Mateer was healthy,
Yeah, I know.
I don't think the number would have been 6 is the only thing, but I think I could have been stronger on making the case for the Sooners to win the game outright.
Yeah. We could have a playoff with Indiana, Vanderbilt, and South Florida. That is possible.
Yeah, it is.
Wild.
Well, Memphis really screwed this up too.
Yeah.
It was right there for him.
Yeah, there's a bad first half against Tulane. Horrible first half. And the comeback too little too late. But he had the guy. He has the guy down the sideline. He threw it over the wrong shoulder.
Yep. Are you going to be dialed into the committee show tonight live and like throwing stuff at your...
No.
Okay, same here.
No. I will be... I get more upset with some of the stuff that the commentators say. It's like they don't pay attention or watch.
Win Some, Lose Some is up next, and sportsbooks are adjusting their limits in Major League Baseball because of what some brain-dead players decided to do.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Time now for some best bets in college football for the weekend as we head out to the Progressive Guest Line. Professional bettor, longtime college football bettor and handicapper Paul Stone joins the program. You can follow him on X. He is at Paul Stone Sports. By the way, going to the Georgia-Texas game this weekend. What a trip that is, my friend. Good for you.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Got a buddy who's got access to a box there, and we're going to meet them, my wife Abby and I, and looking forward to going to a game at Sanford Stadium. I've been to quite a few stadiums throughout the country, but have never been to have been to Athens, but never to a game there. So really looking forward to it this weekend between the hedges.
Damn, that's awesome. So no bet for you on that game as of now, but the other big boy in the SEC you do have a bet on. It's Oklahoma at Alabama. Right now, Bama laying about 6. Who do you like?
Yeah, I'll tell you, obviously, this Alabama team, since they stubbed their toe in the season opener, losing at Florida State 31-17, I mean, they have been on a mission. They played really well. They've won now, I guess it's up to 8 in a row. And, man, their quarterback, Ty Simpson, he has been an absolute marksman for most of the year, has a great receiving core, one of the best in the nation, led by Ryan Williams, Jeremy Bernard. And I tell you, he's also identified another weapon. Their tight end Josh Cuevas last week against LSU in that 20-9 victory over the Tigers. He continues to be more of an impactful player for the Tide. 4 catches for 58 yards. Just another guy that the defense has to account for on that Crimson Tide offense. Alabama obviously still in squarely in the playoff hunt without question, and this is a big one. Oklahoma, you look on the other sideline this weekend. They're a team that also is in the playoff hunt. thanks in part to one of the nation's top defenses, but I think some, and I'm not saying a ton, they're still one of the nation. They're a top 10 defense, but maybe not as quite as good as we originally thought they were. Some of those statistics may be padded a little bit by the quality of offenses that they've been facing. Their last two games, a home loss to Ole Miss and a road victory over Tennessee, the Sooners have allowed a total of 61 points, 887 yards. So they've allowed almost 900 yards combined in their last two games. Their quarterback, I know you've talked about it with myself and with other guests, John Mateer. Hard to really know if he's back to 100% since having that right thumb surgery back in September. He did have a good game rushing the football and passing the football against Tennessee, but still hard to know whether he's operating at peak efficiency, so to speak. You know, Alabama's the more complete team here. They're also in a very favorable point spread role. They don't necessarily, these trends don't get you to the window automatically, but something to consider. Alabama 5-0 against the spread this season as a home favorite, 27-9-1 against the spread as a home favorite since the start of 2020. I like the Tide over the Sooners Saturday in Tuscaloosa.
All right. Good luck, my friend. You had a winner last week in the MAC. There are 3 MAC games tomorrow. How about Miami of Ohio catching 4 against a disappointing Toledo team?
You know, I actually made this line closer to pick, Paulie, and I'm a little bit perplexed, quite frankly, at Miami getting 4 points. You know, I've been looking all over the place, trying to see if there's any information out there regarding the quarterback for Miami, DeQuan Finn, maybe being dinged up or something like that. And I just don't find anything coming out of Oxford. So all systems seem to be go for DeQuan Finn, the Miami quarterback. But this is a Toledo team that has struggled, to put it mildly, as a road favorite, not only this season, but in recent seasons. This year, as a road favorite, they are 1-3 against the spread in 2025, and they're 3-14 against the spread as a road favorite since the start of the 2022 season. You look at the 3 losses, they're actually 0-3 against the spread this year, I should say, as a road favorite. They've not only failed to cover guys those 3 games on the road, they hadn't even won them. They've lost all 3 of their games when cast as a road favorite outright. They lost to Western Michigan 14-13 as a 14-point favorite, fell at Bowling Green 28-23 as a 10-point favorite, and then lost most recently in their most recent road loss at Washington State 28-7 as a 1.5-point favorite. So they have played very poorly on the road, to put it mildly. Getting back to DeQuan Finn, this game has huge significance for the 7th-year senior. Spent most of his career playing for the Toledo Rockets, actually appeared in 45 career games for the Rockets. So the guys he'll be facing on the opposite sideline, a lot of the coaches and even maybe a few of the players he certainly has relationships with. I know he wants to have a big game. He's a true dual threat guy, 1,451 passing yards this year, another 395 on the ground. I think DeQuan Finn comes up big, and as bad as Toledo's been on the road this year, Miami's been good at home, 3-1 straight up and against the spread on its home field this year. They have covered 4 of their past 5 games against the spread, all games considered there. So Miami of Ohio, currently part of a 4-way tie atop the MAC, also tied with Ohio, Buffalo, and Western Michigan. So this game's outcome will go a long way to determining the teams that ultimately participate in the MAC championship game in Detroit on December 6th. I think Miami of Ohio wins outright. Give me the Red Hawks +4 over the Rockets.
All right, follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Our guest, Paul Stone, he's on the Progressive Guest Line. I think the Memphis-East Carolina game has a little bit of a dream crusher written all over it for Memphis here, right? It was in front of them. If they went out, they're a playoff team. And now bad performance out of them last Friday night when they lost to Tulane. Now, East Carolina, 3 at a lot of books here in Las Vegas, but nationally, they're 2.5 with a little bit of juice here. What do you make of that number, Paul?
Yeah, I think dream crushers is a good term to use for it, Mitch. I think late in the year, as handicappers, we look for situations like this where one team's aspirations, their grand aspirations, have been taken away from them, and they really don't have as much to look forward to put it bluntly. This time last week, Memphis was certainly the front runner for the group of 5 spot in the 12-team playoff. And here we are 1 week later after they've been upset at home by Tulane, and they can almost certainly kiss those dreams goodbye. So I think this weekend's trip to East Carolina is going to be a very difficult one for the Tigers to recoup and reload. Then to complicate matters even further, their head coach, Ryan Silverfield, he's being linked to several prominent coaching vacancies. Insiders there in Fayetteville report him to be the leading candidate for Arkansas's head coaching job. I think that's accurate. Auburn has also expressed interest. So you got these players wondering if their head coach is even going to be back. I don't think he will be. So that just makes it even more difficult, I think, for Memphis. Meanwhile, East Carolina, they've gotten off to a nice 6-3 start. It's been a pretty quiet 6-3 start. 2 of those losses coming at the hands of Power 4 teams, NC State and BYU. The Pirates, they play fast. They average almost 81 plays a game, actually lead the country in plays per game. They're led by their quarterback, Caton Hauser, who's a transfer from Michigan State. He's thrown for 2,469 yards this year, completed 66.5% of his passes, almost 8 yards an attempt. The Pirates, at this point, they lack a signature win. Certainly, that would change with a victory Saturday over Memphis. Navy currently atop the American Conference standings at 5-1. East Carolina, part of a 4-way tie at 4-1 with South Florida, Tulane, and North Texas. Big game for East Carolina. Memphis has to be deflated. I like the Pirates -2.5 at slightly higher juice, or -3 if that's what you can get over Memphis.
90 seconds. Why do you like Cincinnati laying 6 against Arizona?
These teams, Paulie, in their last outing, they had different outcomes. Arizona last week, a late 80-yard touchdown drive to defeat Kansas 24-20. Cincinnati actually had a bye this past week, but the week before that, they lost big on the road at Utah, 45-14, snapped their 7-game winning streak. The Bearcats now, they have had extra time to stew over their big loss. They've also had an off week that's allowed them to heal some of the bumps and bruises that are pretty much inevitable during the month of November. At 5-1 in Big 12 play, Cincinnati tied for second place with BYU, only a half game behind Texas Tech. Cincinnati hosts BYU next Saturday, November 22nd, so is still in control of its own destiny as far as qualifying for the Big 12 championship game and perhaps even a berth in the national playoff. Cincinnati against Utah in that loss, they had 427 yards, averaged 6.8 yards per play. So offense wasn't the problem. They had 3 turnovers, couldn't slow down Utah. I just think this is a Cincinnati team that's going to get it right. I think they're going to bounce back from that loss. Also, Arizona, 10 a.m. Mountain start. I like Cincinnati -6 over the Wildcats.
Keep it rolling, Paul. Enjoy the game between the hedges. We appreciate it as always.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it. Good luck.
There you go. Paul Stone on the Progressive Guest Line. We'll take you inside our pizzeria coming up next. Small bets that will result in a massive payday coming up.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Welcome back. Time now for our weekly visit with the owner and the CEO of Circa Las Vegas. Derek Stevens joins the desk here in studio. Good to see you again today. How are you?
Good. How you doing, fellas?
Doing really
good,
well.
Sir.
Getting good now in these Survivor contests, huh?
Sure is. We got a little extra to root for here. We got something you got cooking, and we got Circa Grandissimo's getting to that point where any week now.
So what are you hearing about that contest? We are down to 6 entries left, playing for $6.9 million. Talks, anything to the grapevine with a potential chop here?
I don't know about that. I think some of these teams, I'm pretty sure I know one of the 6 is an individual. I'm pretty sure another one of the 6 has a big consortium. The one with the big consortium just applied for $1 million credit line. So I'm thinking hedging's in order. So it makes me think, why would they want to chop if they've got a big group in there? And I think they're in an advantage situation. I kind of like, with Circa Grandissimo, let's just say New England's the kind of the clear-cut biggest point spread favorite out there. I realize it's a Thursday night, but 4 out of the 6 have New England.
Yes.
Not everybody. 4 out of the 6.
Right.
I tend to believe the way Circa Grandissimo is going that you might have 4 out of the 6 take them on Thursday, and then we'll see. Then we'll see what happens here.
This is what you talk about every Saturday with Jeff Benson. Dream Team could have won this. Denver should have lost that game, and the Bears should have lost. And if that happens, Dream Team wins the damn thing. It's over.
Yeah, that would have been
Seattle.
That would have been something.
I mean, right there. And it's also going back to what you said, like with Mike Buckmiller, previous winners talked about. You have to be ready to win. You got to have everything mapped out and ready to go because New England, what if they blow this?
Yeah.
And you're sitting back and these other 2 guys, it's right in your lap then.
Yeah. So my public service announcement today is for Circa Grandissimo. If you want to hedge, we'll take the bet, whether it's Kentucky or Colorado or one of the 5 states we're in. But you gotta set up the credit line in advance. For Circa Survivor, we have exactly 1,000 entries left. 808 people with 1,000 entries total. So that's not going to end, anytime this month. But I would say the same thing. Don't ask for credit on the same night you're sending me a text for a Thanksgiving Day dinner reservation.
Yeah, right.
We got to plan a little bit here, I do think Thanksgiving with availability is going to be really interesting. So you got to be prepared. Everybody did all this work well in advance in July and August. Get here, all the strategy. If you've made it this far, you've got a lot to be proud of.
Sure you do.
Just be ready though.
And think about this for a second. If you are one of the 1,000 entries remaining in that contest, that means that 17,700 plus have already gotten whacked. And we are only halfway through this contest now because of the 2 holiday weeks.
Yeah.
So odds are, you said 808 people are accounting for all 1,000 entries. It means a lot of people are down to 1.
Oh, certainly. Yeah, majority of people are down to 1.
Absolutely.
That's right.
What'd you think of the guy shoving all 10 on the Bears?
Well, he other than 1 week this year, I believe he shoved every single week other than 1.
Wow.
Yeah, boy, what a sweat he.
No kidding. He had no business winning.
He's
that.
playing
God
with
yes.
He's lucky to be alive, but he's in a good position now.
Huh? What if I use New England? What would you do this week, considering now that the Burrow thing could put a wrench into Thanksgiving night? Who would you use?
Well, if you use New England this week, and you're in Circa Grandissimo, I'd be prepared to start hedging. I'd be betting on the other the other selections that are going to come out on Sunday because I think you've got a reason to do it.
Who would you use in Circa Survivor? If I already used New England.
If you already used New England, well, yeah, you could take a look at Baltimore, but yeah, you're giving up some future value there. You're probably going to be looking at Houston's going to be the number 1 selection.
73% have them.
Yeah, I mean you've got 731 Circa Survivors have Houston available, so I think that one's going to be probably the most popular selection. That New England will be the 2.
Yeah, I think they're going to be more popular than the Patriots, don't you? Because the Patriots, 550 entries still have New England, and you have other spots where you can use the Patriots this year because their schedule is the easiest in the entire league moving forward. I don't know how many times you're going to use Houston.
Yeah, you got week 13 against the Giants for the Patriots. You've got week 17 against the Jets, and the Jets may be imploding by that point in time. So Patriots have a little extra value. As far as Houston, I guess they've got 1 spot, week 16 against the Raiders, right? That's about it.
Yeah,
could be a good spot, but yeah.
How about a millions update? Kanish is human. He went 3-2.
He went 3-2. Yeah. So what's he at now? 38 and 12. Put him at 76% on the year.
He's only got a 1-game lead.
Oh,
that's the other story.
You have a 3-2, and then all of a sudden, watch out.
Look at that.
Guys can catch you.
Coin opposite at 37-13 and the min 36-14. Yeah, it's tight. It's tight the whole way. The best record on the whole board, though, is at the back end. Guns Buttman is 11-39. 78% picking losers.
Man, incredible.
That's
what
amazing.
A job. Hats off to you, my friend. I'll give you another one, too. You've mentioned him before. Money Gun Guns is top 10, and I think he's bottom 10. And he got a piece of the booby and a payout on the last one.
I got to pull out my big sheet here.
I think he's tied for 9th, and then he was at the bottom for the booby and actually cashed the booby when you handed out the checks and so many people won and got the share. So that is how you play it. We're going opposite and how well he's doing this. That'd be impressive if he can pull this off.
I don't know. Money Gun Guns, they reached out to me today on X.
Oh, really?
Just to say, we were chit-chatting a little bit here. Not a DM, it's up there. So I don't know many of these people, but you were talking about Potato Commish is worth a follow on X.
Yeah.
Right? Sharing a bunch of stuff. And eventually I'm sure that a lot of these people are going to be coming here and you will meet most of them.
Yeah, we hope to. Actually, yeah, I'll throw this out there. We had a meeting earlier today with the producers of the documentary, and we talked about it. That's how I knew off the top of my head. There was 808 people in Circus Survivor out of the 1,000 entries. If anybody's interested in being on, you made it this far, you got a spot in the documentary if you want it. You don't even have to be here. They'll do an interview on Teams or Zoom or something like that if you want.
Okay.
Now, a lot of people don't want to.
Sure.
I get that as well, but some do. And if you do, the producers are looking for some characters. So we love to have. I mean, you make it this far. Everybody wants to know. Everybody wants to know, what was your strategy? What was your biggest sweat? Those are the things everybody wants to hear.
How many
about.
heart attack games have you survived so far?
Yeah.
If people want to be a part of it, how do they reach out? Is there somebody to contact?
Yeah, just reach out on X to Jeff Benson, to myself, to any of us. We'll get you in touch with the crew.
Very cool. How big do you think Grandissimo can get next year?
That's a great question.
Can it touch 100 in year 2?
I don't know. I mean, I was happy. If we got to 20, I was ecstatic.
Yeah,
because I thought it was what it did is it creates this extra element of strategy right now. It's created this unbelievable element of strategy over the course of the last 4 or 5 weeks.
Yep.
They're definitely a lot more of a thought of just survive the week, just survive, because the money's so much higher. It's a different mindset when you're really looking to go 20-0. This is pretty interesting to see the dream team. What Gamble Balls is doing. He's been a friend over here a lot. All these guys, really amazing. I don't know, 100? You think so?
No, I'm saying I think that would be an unbelievable number.
The one thing I found out, though, for sure, there is a lot of people that love a high-end contest.
Yep. Right?
Yeah.
I was shocked by this.
I don't think you can underestimate that part of it.
Yeah, could be something.
Well, also what we talked about, too, was the ego thing. And apparently, I don't think that even if we get down to 3 people, too, I don't know if a chop's going to happen based on if it's that certain person who is just saying, I'm not gonna do it, no way, no how.
I mean, you think about the World Series of Poker. It was a lot easier to get a bracelet and win the full World Series of Poker back 30 years ago than it would be today with the number of entrants.
No kidding.
I mean, you may want to get into this thing soon because that's a feather in your cap for the rest of your life.
Right. And as you said to start the segment here, if people are looking to hedge, again, get in touch with Derek, Jeff Benson. Doesn't matter. Las Vegas, could be Kentucky, Illinois, Colorado.
Yep.
You guys will take, and you're going to offer ties on these games as well because.
Yep. All ties will be offered every game from here on out. We've had too much customer demand for that.
Thanks, Derek. Have a good week.
Thank you.
In Pocket plays our best bets for tonight coming up here on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.